This is a lesson video to help with practice set 5. Okay, so we are looking at to simplify the following expression, leaving the answer in a single fraction in the simplest form. So remember that when we need to handle division of algebraic fractions, what we can do is we can easily change it into a multiplication by flipping the fraction on the right. Okay, so by changing this to what we can do is we flip by changing it to a division sign to a multiplication sign, and all we have to do is just to flip the fraction. Now, in order for us to cancel off or simplify the fraction, we need to factorize. Remember, we need to factorize each of the terms individually. So factorization will allow us to identify common factors and to cancel out each term one by one. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead to factorize the following terms. So factorization of c squared minus c minus 6. Okay, so we go to the right, and let's say if I use the MA method, I'll just write c squared minus 6, negative 6, negative c. Now I have c and c. Now, so all I need to do is think of possible factors of negative 6. Now, in this case, I'm going to think about probably negative 3 multiplied by positive 2. So c multiplied by 2 will give me positive 2c. c multiplied by negative 3 will give me negative 3c. And you can see that negative 3 plus 2c indeed gives me a negative c. And so from here, I can identify that my term here, 1, this is basically c minus 3 multiplied with c plus 2. Okay, and on the right hand side, I'm going to do the same. Now c minus 3 is already in its granular form, so I'm not going to factorize it further. Now I see that c squared minus c minus 2. This is where I'll try to factorize this. Okay, so c squared minus c minus 2. Now factorizing this, c squared, negative 2, negative c. Similarly, I write out my terms c, I'll put c and c, because c multiplied by c will give me c squared. Now for negative 2, I see that I need a negative c, right? So I think of a bigger negative factor. I think of negative 2 multiplied by positive 1. Now 2 is actually a prime number, so it's not too difficult for you to be able to identify the factors of negative 2. All right, so remember, why do I think of negative 2 and 1? Because I saw a negative c lah. So negative c, probably you need a bigger negative factor in order to get a negative outcome. Okay, so with that, c multiplied by 1 will give me a positive c. C multiplied by negative 2 gives me a negative 2c, and with that, negative 2c plus c, that will give me minus c. Okay, so I identify my factors as well, c minus 2, c plus 1, and I write it out here, c minus 3, c minus 2, and c plus 1. Okay, and with that, you should be able to identify your factors. C plus 1 cancels. C minus 3, c minus 3 cancels. When I cancel out the entire numerator, what I'm left with, I'll be left with a 1. Left with a 1. Okay, and with that, my numerator would just be 1. Sorry. It will just be 1 multiplied by 1. The denominator will be c plus 2 multiplied by c minus 2. Okay, my final answer will be 1 c plus 2 multiplied to c minus 2. Okay, and we are done with this question. Thank you.